Dina, and I want to welcome you to another discussion with Dina. Today we are discussing Tyler Perry and his new movie, Divorce in the Black. Are we judging Tyler Perry too harshly when it comes to his films? Let's get into it. Tyler Perry's Divorce in the Black. Now, this movie stars Megan Good, Corey Hardrick, Ursula O. Robinson, Richard Lawson, Taylor Polidor Williams, Shannon Wallace, Debbie Morgan, and Joseph Lee Anderson. It is written, directed, and produced by Tyler Perry. Now, Divorce in the Black focuses on the story of Ava, who is played by Megan Good, and her dear, sweet husband, Dallas Bertrand, played by Corey Hardrick. Now, these two actors are very familiar to most people, mainly because of their own public divorces, and perhaps that is the reason that they were both chosen. What do you think? Now, the film tells the story of Ava, who is a young bank professional in a very abusive marriage, and how she is dealing with and reacting to being constantly humiliated by her husband. Now, from the start, Dallas was just so very hateful, resentful, and demeaning to poor Ava. But I felt like there needed to be more background story on Dallas and his family as well. Perhaps a bit more of him and his character development. At some point, he must have loved Ava, or was at least infatuated with her, or was he? Maybe there should just been a bit more on how and why he evolved into the kind of man that would treat her as badly as he did in this movie. The resentment, the hatefulness, it was straight out the bag. Even throwing in a comment about black women. But I just felt like I needed to understand how he evolved into the person that he was, the behavior that we were witnessing, how he got to that point. I can't say watching this movie that it wasn't completely realistic, couldn't be realistic, because I have witnessed guys that treat women similar or worse. And I do know women that have stayed in bad relationship with guys like this or similar for decades. And no matter what I say or anyone else have said to them, they will not leave them. He usually have to do what Dallas did. He just decides to move on his own. So even though Tyler Perry has some critics out there, which is very normal and expected, he's making some things that are relatable. There are scenarios that some women can relate to, not everyone, but it's relatable. I felt it just needed more of a backstory on those Bertrands. I personally found them to be wildly entertaining as a group, making a series or a show about them Bertrands. Furthermore, I think this movie would have been a good mini-series so that it would have allowed you more into the life and the experiences of Dallas's, explaining what, whom, and why he had become the person that we saw him in this movie when it comes to Ava. But even with Ava as well, because she also had some personal issues that allowed her to be treated this way, to accept mental, physical, and emotional abuse from this kind of guy. That way, it would not have seemed just simply a good versus evil, or rich versus poor, or the our series that was called Divorce in Black, and would have really given an opportunity to connect with each character, that character development stuff. It is still an interesting movie. It starts high, it slows down a bit, but it still delivers as intended. I thought it was such a good creative opening scene. Right off, it grabs your attention, and it, like I said, it pulls you in. Now, Ava's father is, of course, a preacher, and his name is Clarence. He's played by Richard Lawson. He is delivering a sermon at the funeral over Dallas's brother casket. who is, quote, one of the Bertrand boys. Now, I gotta say, Clarence was dead ass wrong for the manner in which he was eulogizing Ava's brother-in-law. TAP, bruh, TAP. This is what my mom would say to us as children, and that means time and place. She tell us there is a time and a place for everything, and that just wasn't it in this case. Regardless of the manner in which this soul transitioned, he himself chose to stand as the judge and the jury over this deceased body with no respect to the deceased loved ones, their grief or their bereavement. He should have excused himself, even if he felt some kind of way. Now, even if everything he said happened to be true, that wasn't the time, nor was it the place to do so. Realistically, he should have just allowed someone else to do the service or offered a graveside funeral instead, by which the Bertrands could have conducted it themselves. It kind of made him seem holier than thou, or as if he's being self-righteous, looking down on the Bertrand clan. But of course, that is make-believe, and it would have taken away from the drama or the moment and been less entertaining if they had have done it that way. And yes, I did think it was very entertaining. Now, when Mama Bertrand feels disrespected and decides to leave the funeral, she starts taking off the hand-me-down clothes and demands that her boys remove their brother's body from that casket. It was an excellent lead-in in that movie. I was hooked, like, uh-oh, this is going to be good. And it is mainly why I chose to give this movie a 3 out of 5 stars. It is an interesting movie, no doubt. So the question is, after watching this movie and seeing some of the critics, what is the big deal? Is it just entertainment? Isn't it? But like I said, there were various comments and opinions on all over social media. And that's perfectly okay for people to have an opinion on any movie that they watch or person. You are entitled to that. But I am just wondering, are people hating on him because of who he is? Because of what he has achieved? Do we give this same kind of criticism or critique of other movies and other brands? Or is it that we're holding him to a higher standard? That's the question. What do you think, Fifi?
Well, I feel that people are not they are holding him to a higher standard. And I don't agree with that, because if you look at the haves and have-nots and how that actress, I can't think of her name, Tika,
Tika.
How she, was being portrayed. But they loved the have and the have-nots,
Yeah.
And she was basically a whore. But you didn't you didn't hear a lot of backlash on that. So I just think it's a what's the word?
They have a bias. I think sometimes perhaps we hold him to a higher standard, because I don't think there's a problem with critiquing anybody's material that is out here. But the thing with me when it comes to Tyler Perry is the opportunities that he gives people. Not only that, I think he helps people behind the scenes. And that to me matters a whole bunch. He's just not talking it, because I remember when, was it COVID hit and people were in need. I remember there being a long line of cars and he was just giving away stuff to help people. And one thing in particular that me and my husband saw that was so amazing to me, it was this couple. They were in a place that's out of the country. I think it's Mexico. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. But it was a Black couple, and they had some kind of emergency, and they had to go to the hospital, and they weren't able to pay or to get back here. And I told my husband, I said, I guarantee you that it will be Tyler Perry who goes and assists those people. And that's what he did. And I did a story, I think it was earlier this year, or was it last year, where he actually helped this uh, older lady. She was losing her property.
Yeah,
and he came to the rescue. He does a lot of things. I'm not saying we can't.
He does. He does give back.
Right. And to me, that's important because we don't hear that a whole bunch. So I was just wondering, what is the critique? Why are we so quick to critique him?
And I don't think making black men look bad.
Oh yeah, that's been another.
Black men make themselves look bad every day.
Would you like to explain that?
You know, by the things that they do. You know, you see them with the pants hanging all down. They refer to our, us black women as bees. You know, it's just a lot of things that black men do that make themselves look bad. He's not making you look bad. He's not making the black man look bad.
Now,
we can do better as a people.
Yeah, we can always do better. But this character, let's get into this particular character. I have seen so many memes. They've been funny too, I have to admit. I had some I want to share, some of those memes. They were quite funny. But this guy is a villain. He's added to the list of villains. The guy from, which is one of my favorite Tyler Perry movies, is The Diary of a Mad Black Woman. That's got to be my favorite. And they added the guy that was in the tub. What was his name? Do you remember his name?
I can see his face, but I cannot think of his name.
But they added him to the list. So Dallas is now in the same area.
Okay.
So I seen a meme that said, "Black ladies, can we forgive him yet?" No. But it is this issue of, is it making black men look a certain way? And they can say that he do a lot that pander. Well, some people say he panders to black women. But the truth of the matter is, there is a lot of different characters in each one of the movies. Because Nikki Justice pointed out, Clarence in this particular movie, Clarence didn't play about his wife and daughter. He meant business. So he was a good guy. So we can't look over that. And then Benji, even though he was a single father, he was still trying to do right. He was taking care, and that's admirable right there. So there,
you got to look at maybe the upbringing that Dallas had too.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
that true.
Played a part in how he,
reacts to him
and treated Megan.
Not Megan, Ava. But I was watching it and I was saying to my husband, I would love to see a show. I don't know if it's Betrayal or Betrayal. What's it? Betraying? I kept telling my husband, how do they pronounce it? Bertram. Okay. Now that Ursula, she's a good actress, honey.
Yes, she is.
But I said she did. I would love to see a show with the Bertrams. They were so funny. Not funny, but I would like to know how they became who they were. Because they were out there living in the single wide. And what has happened to her? And like you said, what happened to Dallas that made him, even though they hinted about it in the movie, wouldn't it be nice to see a show or a series? I think he would have done good with a series too. Maybe did a 6-part or an 8-part series that went into the background of the Bertrams. I can't get that part right, but I like where Ursula said it.
But you know what? They respected their mom.
They did.
He told them to do. They did it. They respected their mom.
Oh my God, that was so funny. Then my husband was watching it, and when that scene, when she got up and started pulling off her clothes, I was on the end of my seat. I was like, whoop. But that the way it was set up, people are saying that they are tired of seeing him do plays or movies where there's a black man that's hurting a black woman. So that has been mostly the issue that I have been seeing on social media. People having a problem with that in particular. So that has been the biggest complaint. But I said he has so many other movies and shows that they can choose from.
Exactly.
But really, would that be entertaining if they didn't do that? That was so funny to me. I couldn't get over that opening. And I've seen people criticize him for that opening, but I thought it was very entertaining. And it just got your attention. Isn't that what everybody is talking about? That's exactly what they're talking
I
about.
think he's brilliant. I just.
You think he's brilliant?
He's brilliant. He's creative.
But I just thought it was so amazing the number of people that were complaining about this movie. Now it gets a lot of attention, and to me, the way that he is paying black actors, that is commendable. Because Megan, I understand she was crying, and then I hear, what's Tia's husband name? Corey was even talking about how well they were treated and how well they were paid, and that's something that's also, it says a lot about him. Now I don't say that people can't critique. Once again, you have the right to your opinion, but I feel like maybe we are being a little too hard on Tyler. So I just wanted to see if others wanted to share, and I cannot see the chat for some reason. It's not coming up.
So as a black man, he's not supposed to show what we go through. Would it be the same if a white man was showing it?
Good question. Good question. I think we accept it if it's coming from them, but if it's us, we have to critique it. We hold each other to a higher standard. I'm assuming that's what it is, but I think people entitled to their opinion. But I think he's talented too, because I know they give him a lot of crap about him playing Madea, but Madea is funny to me because when I was introduced to Madea, I remember my mother-in-law, she used to watch these plays all the time, and we would sit down like, where did this come from? And Tyler Perry wasn't as big as he is now. And the plays were funny, and I should say, when he was in the character as Madea, he did remind you of some of your relatives stuff. And I know I got a auntie or two that would behave similar. So it was like he had compassion, I think, because of how he was reared, perhaps. What he saw, maybe that's what he brought to the screen.
And maybe that's why he's being critiqued so hard by some of us, because they see Dallas as somebody in their family too.
They may be, because we have people in our family like that. We know they're not necessarily in the family, but that we may be familiar with that. Have the experience some of that.
He does as a character that we all can relate to.
And then my thing is, he always have not just that, but there are always men that are represented also in those same movies that are positive.
Right, exactly.
So we tend sometimes to perhaps overlook that fact.
Right.
So I think it's just entertainment for me. But it does matter how we are represented. I won't ignore that fact. But I don't think that this particular movie, even though I have to say this also, even though it seems like most movies, whenever there is a black male and a black female, they're always in conflict with one another. And I would love to see a movie where that's not so, where we can be us versus the world. Yeah, we can be in harmony. I would love to see those kind of movies, but would you watch them?
No, first thing you say, that's boring.
And that may be the reality of it, but I like seeing us on the screen. Personally, I do. And I thought this movie was very entertaining and worth the watch. And that's why I gave it a 3 out of 5. The only reason why I didn't give it more stars, because I wanted some, like you said, I wanted some background on them Bertrand or Bertrands, whatever they are. They were a trip to me. Because what made her the way she was? And where's the father?
Right, exactly. She had to raise those boys the best she knew how.
But you know, Clarence was wrong. He's standing up there at the funeral in front of everyone else, and he's tearing him apart. I just felt like that. But if he didn't have that in the movie, would it be as entertaining?
It wouldn't. It wouldn't.
But
That man out there.
But
She's like, not this. I don't want that. Take him out.
I was saying, I cannot say that I would not have been ticked like her, but I don't think I would have went to that degree.
No.
I still thought that part was very entertaining. But did you feel as the parents were a bit too judgmental? I'm saying her parent, Abel's parent, because they were kind of rude, but that doesn't excuse Dallas's behavior. But they were kind of rude. They were just straight out. Because I couldn't say that I wouldn't be the same way about my daughter, but it was like that. They were better, or felt like they were beneath them. That's the feeling that I got from it. And we see that in our.
We see it every day.
Mhm.
Every day.
Mhm.
Every day.
So that made it interesting. But I was like, he's a preacher. Perhaps he would know
Yeah.
people are grieving. Don't speak like that over their loved one. But I like that character. I would love to see him, like I said, go into a series or something. And do it where we can get some background. I think this whole thing would have been better that way.
Yeah, like showing him as he
Grew up. And where is the father once again? But I want to see movies that show us in different areas of life where all of us aren't living like that. There are a lot of happy marriages out here, that Black marriages, Black love that we don't often talk about or see. And I can understand people wanting to experience it and see it on film as well, because you do get tired of the same old stereotypical stuff. But my thing was the criticism of Tyler Perry. I think sometimes we give it to him a little too harshly. And that's just my opinion. Sometimes we take him to task. But some of the other stuff that I see and I review, I'm like, why aren't we taking them to task on some of the stuff that they're putting out here? Because a lot of it is questionable, and they don't always show us in a good light.
Right.
And it's so hard to see a Black man and a Black woman today in movies. It's almost impossible to see us in, not only in a movie, but in harmony in a movie. So we should advocate for that, as well as allowing people to put their artistry out there, and we just see it as entertainment. But I still say this was a interesting movie. What did you think of Benji?
I like Benji.
What you like about Benji? Benji was doing too much. He was a gentleman though. When she was out there in that truck and she was a little tipsy. I think he was a gentleman.
He was a gentleman. He really was, and he showed it. He really showed it. I like when he whooped Corey's ass. I like that part.
That's the part you like.
Yes, I love it. Yes.
But that
Yeah.
fight scene, I'm gonna tell you that love scene to me was quite clumsy. She's so tiny, it looks as if he may have injured her when they were all up against the door. I'm like, did he hurt her arm? That part really had me laughing. Now to me, that was something I would critique. And my husband was like, look at that fight scene. But you know, they gotta have those kind of fight scenes, I guess. You can't get down to brass tacks and somebody might actually get injured if they, but that's movie. But I thought that Benji, I wanted to know more about him and his wife. They never showed her. They showed him taking care of the child and sharing the child. And I thought that was a sign of a good guy.
Yeah. I didn't like when they was talking about the brothers. They were glorifying how they put him in the hospital.
How they beat him up.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I think they should have shown it. I mean, I really think we need some backstory on these two. Hey, Nikki, how are you? You were on the other channel? My bad. What did you think of the movie, Nikki? Nikki said she was on the other channel. I guess I didn't stream it to that one.
Oh.
I'm not seeing the chat on the other channel. So if you all are in the chat, I apologize. I am not seeing it. My apologies. But this was a happy Saturday to you, Nikki. It's a cloudy Saturday here. You think it was one of the better movies? Okay, let me put the link in case. I'm gonna put the link in the chat. So if you want to come up, Nikki, and share your thoughts, you can. Nikki said, I think it was one of the better movies. I liked the movie personally. I thought it was interesting. I wanted more. I mean, like I said, I wanted some more details. I'm a detail person. I wanted to find out about them betrayal. I'm always mispronouncing.
With that burial ground in the front.
I know, because I'm like, wait a minute now. Was that the burial ground where that truck was parked? Was that the same spot where they shot Mr. Clarence?
She had a little heart, didn't she?
She did, but she was so mean to Ava. That's why I need a backstory. Why she hate her so much? And I remember in the movie when she took her hand to comfort him, he actually kind of snatched away from Ava. Dallas did. And I'm thinking at some point he had to have loved her. So what occurred? So Tyler Perry perhaps should go back and give us a backstory. But Nikki thinks it was one of the better movies, and I agree. I think, and Megan looked beautiful in that movie. But yeah, part 2. It was quite interesting to me, but I wanted to see what hear others' opinion, but I am not able to see the chat on my screen, unfortunately. I see one, but it's difficult for me to see what's being said. So please forgive me, but we'll have a better conversation as time progresses on different movies that come out. We'll have an opportunity to express our thoughts and opinions on them and share and have a real discussion. But wasn't it amazing? Did you think it was ironic, coincidence that she chose two divorcees, and not to mention the guy that played Ava's father, he divorced Beyonce's mother. Sure did. So was he sending a message here? Hmm. That's who it is. I was like, wait a minute. I always known him as Michael Jackson's daddy. Didn't he play Michael Jackson's? That's what I said. I said that's why they were whooping his butt, because he whooped Michael. But it was a lot of divorcees in that movie, and I'm wondering, did he do that on purpose? Perhaps that was something that brought more attention to the movie. But I think they usually talk about the bad wigs and stuff. I thought Megan looked beautiful, but Corey, my sister made a comment, and I won't say which one, but she was talking about she was hoping that this was acting, because she was saying, you want the twin girl Tia? She certainly hoped Tia don't have to deal with that with Corey. But that's just entertainment. But it was funny she made that comment. But somebody posted a meme and said he wasn't acting. Oh goodness. Hey Nikki. Okay. Okay, I'm trying to get Nikki on here.
Okay, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Nikki. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm so excited. I'm excited. I mean, that was my daddy, right? So he just called me on the phone. And I said, oh my goodness. So yeah, I had to talk to him for a few seconds. But
daddy's girl.
I'm not going to disclose. But daddies are so important. They really are. I think that the father, I do know that they paid a lot of attention to the husband, his daughter's husband, but I think his role should have been,
bigger,
louder, more important, you know what I'm saying? The same way that Tyler Perry being Madea, jumping out the bushes, talking about how your mama doing and waving around arms and things of this nature. I think his role should have been that, right?
I agree.
Mm-hmm. Because that's definitely something that we need to see, right? So he was a pastor. Maybe we're not for pastors and things of this nature. Maybe we're not for church. But his role as a man, as a father, as a husband, as someone who everybody respected in the community, that if something happens to somebody in your family, they're going to get on the phone and let him know. Right?
That's right.
So,
that's right.
Right. And that's how our families used to be. That's how our communities, Black communities and things of this nature used to be. Very close, very close knit and things of this nature. I just don't agree with. I actually just think that this was one of the better movies. The agenda was not there. Wasn't no other flags waving around. Okay, so it was. And we do know women like her. You know what I'm saying? Like, we know families like this, and I just think that role of the father should have been,
because he was a strong man. I mean, he didn't play.
He was strong. He was strong. Yes, he was. And another thing about the father is that when somebody called him on the phone and said, hey, this, that, and the other, he didn't say, oh, well, what you was doing over there with them?
Right.
What you say to him?
He didn't hesitate.
He asked no questions, honey.
Right.
He didn't care. Because he knows his family. He knows what he affiliates himself with. He knows. So it wasn't any questioning to be done. It was only action. So I
Right.
really like that part. I really like that part. No matter what was going on, no matter if she did say something to him, right? Um, things shouldn't have gone on like that, right? And everybody just stood there in the store and they just
Right.
like, oh my, just like, oh God. But he didn't play around, you know. So
And you know what else is that him and his wife set a good example for
they
Ava.
did, they
And that
did.
was important. I thought that was good. And then when she talked to her and they were having that conversation and she said that having set that example, she knew that her daughter would eventually wake up, you know.
Mm.
And I'm paraphrasing.
Hopefully, yeah. Well, hopefully. I mean, at one point, the mother was like, "Well, you know, we never were you and your husband." You know what I'm saying? We
Yeah.
were hoping that we actually set an example. But when she saw the letter from her friend, you know, because her friend wrote the letter to her, and she was like, "I was documenting everything just in case, you know, he did something to you, you know." And she
And that
gave
was
him the
a long
letter.
list.
Wow. Ma'am, it looked like it was a book, okay? A chapter, like a whole chapter. And it's just like, how much can you put up with? I'm just glad they really didn't get into what it was he was actually doing. You know what I'm saying? Because I can only imagine. But the mom was like, I didn't want you to get it twisted. That's why she was like, where did I go wrong with you?
I know.
You know what I'm saying? She didn't want her to get twisted by saying, you got to stay with him. You got to stay in the marriage. She didn't mean it in that manner.
Right.
But she didn't know. You know what I'm saying? So I can say that. She didn't know. And
as a mother, I could feel that pain, even though it's a movie. You don't want your children to experience that.
You don't, and you don't want them to experience it because of something they misconstrued that you said to them, or you demonstrated to them certain things, and that's why she was like, "Oh no, this ain't never me and your father. This don't get it twisted." And so I guess she really didn't understand. You know what I'm saying? Right. I don't think Ava really understood. She just didn't want to, I guess, embarrass her parents, you know? So she kept a lot of things in. Yeah.
And that scene at the restaurant, oh my God. I'm like, oh, I could just choke him. That was, I mean, that was, like, he just trash. At that point, I just, you could feel her pain. I know it's a movie, but you could feel her pain.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a movie, but let's be clear, that has happened, okay? That has really happened in real life. Most of these movies are taking bits and pieces from actual life and things of this nature. So I couldn't imagine it. You know what I'm saying? If he would have left me at home, the first thing I was thinking is, I'm going back upstairs, okay? Oh no.
I'm not gonna sit there quietly.
No,
that date over.
Listen, the day would have never started, honey, and I've been at work all day too. No.
I know. He just
he was like, what you need to change for? You ain't did nothing all day but sit down.
Right. Oh.
I'm thinking you still get hot and sweaty down there.
You sure do.
Yes, amen. Okay.
What did you think of the what are they, Bertrand? What did you think of them?
The Bertrands.
The mother and how they were represented. What did you think of them?
You know, I don't know, because a lot of them weren't really showed like what they, you know what I'm saying? Like in the parts that they did show was just horrible and things of this nature. So we only know the horrible part. We don't really know
the backstory.
Right. We don't know who they are. We can't make a judgment. At least I don't think so. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But if they were terrorizing the town and things of this nature, like, did people put them up as the go-to, you know, people to hate. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
were they picked to be that? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, I think we all knew some people like that in real life. You know, there's always one family that is just absolutely no good. And no matter what good you try to do for them, they ensure that you regret it. Okay.
That's right. That's true. That's why I said his movie, we can't say that we don't know or can't relate to some of the characters. It's just have you listened to some of the people that have been criticizing or maybe critiquing it? What do you think of some of those critiques he's gotten on it?
Well, of course, I saw the 0%, right? And I thought, first of all, I'm gonna be really, really honest with you. I thought
that was Rotten Tomatoes.
Rotten Tomatoes, they had that nerve, right? But I'm thinking it's like the Beehive might have paid them off or something, because you know that is Beyonce's stepdad.
Right.
Yeah. So they are that mental, and we do know that, okay? We know that about them.
I'm like, 0, really?
A 0, right? I never heard of that for any of their movies. And I'm pretty sure, but even for a Tyler Perry movie, and he's had some horrible movies. Worse. I mean, I just don't see this movie as being the worst. I don't.
I don't either. I thought it was pretty good myself.
I mean, I thought it was okay too. Again, it has family, you know, it has a strong male role, even though it was played down. It had the screenplay could have been okay. Lonnie Love did make a comment about the screenplay, about the writing of it, excuse me, and she's like, well, you can hire some, you know, Black writers. I'm thinking, can you hire a Black writer? Because isn't your boyfriend white? Like, what are we talking about? Like, who's writing your story? Miss, you're missing a couple of chapters, please. Okay. Yes. So
I saw that come in. I was trying to understand. A
lot of people are saying that, though. A lot of people are saying that, but I agree that he needs help at this point. Like, you know, how is it that you can make a man in a dress the main topic for all of your other movies, and then when you actually have a strong man, right, and you have a woman who is not necessarily submissive, but she's very supportive, okay, and she's important in his life, and they are a team, and they have a daughter, right, and you know, she's married, you know what I'm saying? So it's definitely a storyline that should be expounded upon.
I agree.
Right, definitely. We need to see more of that.
Exactly.
More of that. We need more Black family movies. Of course, everybody in the film was a Black family, but we want to see more healed families. We want to see families that work. We want to see families that get along. We want to see families that, you know, are not
in conflict with one another.
In conflict, yes, broken, yeah. So I mean, every single family has issues, but to the point and the extreme that Tyler Perry gives you know, I mean, and then they use the N-word. I didn't like that. It seemed like for a little while that they weren't gonna use it, and then they just used it out of nowhere, like just kind of threw it in there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right, just kind of threw it in there, and I was like, wow, it's been like 40 minutes, and now so I mean, I do want to see more Black movies without that word.
Agreed.
Definitely, yeah.
I agree with that.
I just don't want to hear it anymore. I just don't.
Did you like?
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
The movie before that with what's her name? Felicia. We listened to. what's her name? The Kelly Rowland. How did you feel about that movie?
I thought it was weird. I didn't get it. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know what to say about it. I thought it was like
Mia Culpa. That's it.
Yeah, that means my fault or something like that, right?
It's a.
It was just weird.
Mm-hmm.
Like she was supposed to be his lawyer, but he was like bossing her around like she was his woman.
Mm-hmm.
And then she got into it, and I'm like, what?
That's what I didn't get right. And going to his house so much by herself, like,
right?
Is that very professional? Why isn't someone with you? And
it's not. It is not. And then he was with, Bunny. Bunny was there. She sees him with Bunny, and then she can't wait to get her pants off.
Oh, that was gross to me.
I mean, make me lose my lunch, right?
Oh my God, now that was nasty.
I'm like, you just saw him, and you can't wait for your turn.
I know, and then I kind of felt like because she did this after receiving a so-called text showing her husband who she thought was cheating on her. I think that was to justify it. But looking at that guy, I'm like, ew, and knowing what he'd been with so many other people, that was my issue. Like, you are a lawyer, at least you should know, and you have a lot of access to behind the scenes information. What I'm saying, when you're dealing with a client, don't
right.
So she would have known what kind of person and situations he'd been in, and she still. And I'm like, perhaps they should have also showed them using some protective stuff, because
what type of protective stuff? Okay, because I don't think there's any protection from that. Ew, just ew. Like yuck. He literally had just got off of Benicia, okay? Boniqua. He just got off Boniqua. And now he's on you, Kelly. That is gross, girl. What are we doing?
And then
go ahead. No. I just did not expect that from Kelly, and I just don't know why she did that. I think she lowered herself on that. She really did.
She's a beautiful woman, but I was like,
oh wow. Yeah, she is. She's lovely. She is very lovely, and I think she's everybody's favorite, right? It's just that for some odd reason, she is expected to go in that direction because of how she looks. And nobody else is expecting, the other girl, to do that, even though she does. I don't understand why she's so smutted out these days. But is it after when you get 40, you have to be naked or something? I don't know. Is that a thing?
I don't know, but you talk about babe.
Because I still got my clothes on. I don't look. Just let me know, because is that what you're supposed to do when you turn 40?
I feel you on that. It is. It seems to be the norm. Like at the BET Awards, I'm like, was anybody wearing clothes?
Oh my goodness! It is a thing. It is a thing, and it should not be. And that's why I think that because Tyler does have that platform, he has the ability to change the view of Black people, and he just doesn't. He just jams it. I mean, he rams it. I mean, he backs it up, and then he,
like that.
Yes. And I mean, it's a nuclear bomb at this point, And oh my goodness, maybe I shouldn't have said that, because I know YouTube is so wild now. You can't even say anything on YouTube. They are so wild.
It is true.
I didn't mean that. Sorry, YouTube. Okay.
Context is context.
Yeah. So, but he has the ability, and he has not taken it not once. He has not. You know how they say, "Oh, we'll take the high road," and I'm thinking to myself, and he is all over BET, and you know BET is like whatever it's supposed to be at this point in time. It's not black entertainment any longer.
Right.
Not any long. I mean, even before, like even when they had College Hill, that was horrible. I mean, they just try to show black people in the worst light, and it's
And
just
they never have. We never seem to have programming for our children either. Positive.
absolutely nothing.
I'm like, why don't we have that or offer that? We have children, don't we
Absolutely
want them
nothing.
to give them positive role models and have positive programming, but we just don't. It's absent within our community at this point.
It most certainly is. It most certainly is. And can we blame Tyler at this point? I think so, because he has had a very long streak at this point. I mean, name somebody who's had a longer streak than him. There's nobody.
Mm-mm.
So, I
But
mean,
I'm gonna admit, I'm gonna say it. I don't watch all of Tyler's stuff. Now, Fifi,
oh, me either.
what is that you like? You just admitted it. The haves and have not. I've watched this a couple times with her. It's just certain things I don't watch.
The haves and the have-nots.
Have you watched
I
it,
don't.
Nikki?
I don't know what that is. No. I try to stay away from his stuff, but because it had the only Meg that we recognize, okay, Megan Good, okay,
Right.
and she's the only Meg that I know of, okay, that is a black woman out here, okay, and also Miss Angie, all right, from back in the day, and they were also on Eve's Bayou.
Oh yeah,
So
together, right?
right. So she was her aunt on that movie, and now she's her mom on this movie. And then they had Corey Hardricks on there. I think he's getting a bad rap at this point in time.
I think so too.
Yeah, they're trying to liken him to something that he is not.
Right.
Okay, that he is not. His wife wanted to be a hot girl, and it ain't working out for her. You know what I'm saying? She tried to make it seem like, oh, he was broke on a bus stop, homeless. Do you remember that story she told about him? And I'm like, you are kidding me. But he is so manly, and he's big, and he's tall, and I didn't think he was that big. Right?
Is he?
He's big. Yeah, he's tall.
I thought he was short. Okay.
I thought he was small. Yeah, I thought he was small too. He is not, honey. Then he had some nipples on the action, on the shirts and stuff. So, but I mean, when he had that blue sweater on. But I think, yes, I was checking him out, and another thing, he's falling into some stereotype now. Right. He's gonna probably have to be stereotyped and typecast. That's what they call it, typecast. When they do the same role over and over. And we haven't seen him for a while in anything. So, no, I mean, I do not think he is that man in real life. And if he was, she would have let us know, okay?
I think so too.
I think so.
Relationship, but I do think
I don't. And that's the thing. We didn't know anything about their real relationship, and then a fake movie comes out, and all of a sudden, you know their whole marriage. Be for real. She was clear who the problem was in the marriage. It was her.
You think it was her?
I do.
I mean, I would watch their show with years ago with my daughter when they had this little show with the twins, and he would be a nice guy. I mean, he would just be hanging around. He was just he came across as a nice guy. So I don't know him personally, so I can't make a judgment on him, but I thought they were happy.
I'm sure he thought so too. I'm sure, he thought so too. But as far as that, she said that he didn't cheat or nothing happened in the marriage.
You think she said bored?
She said she grew up. She graduated from that, honey.
But then I saw where they were possibly getting back together. Mm-hmm.
I doubt it. I really doubt that.
I thought they were a cute couple, though.
And I was glad she married somebody, that was darker. I don't really know if he's black or, what he's claiming. These days people are so sensitive. Mm-hmm. But she didn't go the route her sister went,
Right. Mm-hmm.
So, but the way she was saying, if I can find that where she's talking about him saying he was homeless and she used to drive past him every day and drop him off food.
At a bus stop. I think he was sitting on a bus stop when they met.
It's not funny. It's not funny. But the way she said it, like she found a stray cat or something, and it's just like, what, girl?
But they had been together for a very long time.
Right, and I think she knew him before that, right? Or no? Is that when she first initially met him?
Because they were acting, I think, in different things.
Okay, yeah. So he was a starving artist. But hopefully he'll get more going now. Hopefully he'll get
already typecast because they have already put him in some memes with the other guy from Diary of a Mad Black Woman, and what's the other guy they had? I didn't recognize some of them, but I'm not ready to forgive that guy from Diary of a Mad Black Woman. So
we're never forgiving him. Okay. I hope he's still in that tub, honey, blowing them bubbles, cause ain't nobody coming to help your ass, okay?
Oh my God, that's my favorite part when she said, "Stop blowing them bubbles."
Oh yes, yeah. Even in his lowest moment, he still was like the worst person in the world. And the lady cleaned you out, and the only one that's over here changing your diaper and you still running your mouth. Okay. You got a mouth that needs to be washed up. So let's you got a dirty mouth. You got a dirty mouth.
Yeah, and think about it. That's my favorite one. I still love that one. That's my favorite one.
Now rinse your mouth out, because you got some nasty stuff coming out of that mouth. That mouth is terrible. So, yeah. But I don't want him to go in that direction. I think he has more potential. Like, even if he goes to like Hallmark or Lifetime, I would be good with that.
That's what my daughter was saying. I'm gonna tell you what she suggested. She said, "Why don't we see?" And perhaps we'll put a bug in Tyler's ear. You know how they do the Christmas shows?
Oh yeah.
We were talking about Kelly Rowland earlier. She's in this show that my children, my grandbabies, all of them, they love it. Where she and what's it called?
Something for my baby for Christmas or something, with her family, and she has a mother and a father, and then on the next one she gets pregnant, and then on the next one she has the baby. Yeah. I love that Christmas show.
They love it, and this is what my daughter is saying. Tyler Perry need to do some of those with black people. Wouldn't that be nice to see?
He can't, because that's why I was shocked when she did that crap. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't go from watching you on Christmas in that family setting. I think it's like 3 of them with her and the family, and then the man she's marrying. I think the first one they get married, the second one she's pregnant, the third one I think she has the baby or something like that. But he has some children already, and the little girl tried to destroy the dress and things. But that was a lovely, lovely story, and it was great, right on time for Christmas. Lots of happiness. Once again, the mother and father is married. That's why I just can't see her going over to Tyler Perry and just, going that low under the limbo stick. Okay, like she hit
Right.
the dirt on that. Okay.
I was surprised. I was like, "Oh, Kelly,
Yeah.
you done had me blushing, Kelly."
Like,
Is that
Kelly, put
Kelly?
your clothes on. Like, I'm covering my eyes. Like, I'm a kid. Like,
My
girl, what?
baby's like, "We love Kelly. We just saw Kelly, and they like her, and they want
Yeah.
us. We can't see this movie with Kelly because they're into this the Christmas movies. Now it is a tradition in our family that they play this around
Oh.
that. My
Let me
baby,
look this. Let me look up this movie with her. But go ahead. I'm gonna look it up real fast.
but she's so, and I like the way the family dynamic is within those movies, those Christmas movies that
Yeah.
she did. My babies, they love it. We did
Right.
a vote to see which were the best Christmas movies, and they voted for the ones with Kelly Rowland.
Oh,
They just
wow.
they love it, and we get in the movie room and they want to watch it all the time when it's the
Yeah.
holiday season. So it would be nice to see some of those types of movies from Tyler Perry as well. I some of the craziness is funny. I'm not gonna lie, because I like this particular movie.
Mm.
But it's good to see family, wholesome
Yeah.
family.
It
So
is.
I would like to see some of those movies come from him. But he has a variety of stuff, because I loved House of Pain. I thought that was a good sitcom as well. I don't know if it's
But
still.
House of Pain. Ella died though, right?
She did she? She's alive. You mean the actual actress?
The actual actress. I think she. Merry Little Christmas. Merry
That's
Little
it.
Christmas.
That's it.
Yeah. Merry Little Christmas. And it's
And
three
she looked
movies.
pretty in those movies. She's very
She
pretty.
did. She looked beautiful. Merry Little Christmas Wedding, Merry Little Christmas Baby. Yeah, so it's three is and Merry Little Christmas. I think Merry Little Christmas is the first one.
Mhm.
But
That's when they meet.
yeah,
Because they're
yeah,
neighbors. And
yeah.
again, the lady that played Debbie, that's her name, Debbie, that played Ava's mother, she's her
Mhm.
mother in this movie. She's Kelly's mother.
Oh, and a
And
Merry
Merry,
Little Christmas.
uh-huh.
Okay,
And
yeah. Well,
it's a
Miss Debbie, Miss Angie, Miss Debbie, Miss Angie. I call her Miss Angie, but she been around for a while.
she's been
She,
around a while.
I think she was in Roots, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
then you look at her and you like, wow, Ruth was a very long time ago, but she looks
Yeah.
good. So
Yeah, she's very
I'm
beautiful, and I
good.
love her. And yeah, we want more out of these black movies. We just do. You know what I'm
But I
saying?
had to give him a shout out, because he is paying them very well.
He has it. Why not? He has it. It looks
But
like
the other
It looks like Monique did her job, right? Because now these
Right.
people are getting paid. So shout out to Monique, okay?
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
not forgot about that. So perhaps that did play a very big part in that.
Yeah,
'Cause,
and it's odd that every time somebody plays in one of his movies now, they always mention how much they're getting paid.
Right.
It's so
So
much
you're
more
right.
than
Shout
it's
out
ever
to you,
before.
Monique.
It's so much more than ever before, okay? So that's
Right.
it's like kind of a dig to Monique, but also it's a shout out to her because she provoked this man to respond. So
Right. But
yeah,
I thought it was with Oprah. I thought Oprah was the one that was paying her, but it could have been Tyler. I don't know. But either way, you're right. You have to give Monique her shout out for
yeah.
because she had not said right. But Taraji said from the start that Tyler paid her well.
That Tyler paid her well, but the Fox network did not want to pay her. Benjamin Button didn't want to pay her.
Right.
A lot of those movies that, you hard out here for a pimp, they ain't want to pay her. And I said, Dag, you acting and singing?
in that movie?
Yeah.
Hmm.
But it wasn't Tyler Perry that Monique said wasn't paying. It was the other guy. But still, I think that is where the motivation came from.
Oh, okay.
I really still want it. I still want. No, but she was talking about Tyler Perry though. But not paying her. She was talking about the other guy not paying her. It wasn't
Right.
Tyler Perry. It was the other guy. I can't think
Yeah,
of
Lee Daniels. That's right.
Lee.
Daniels.
Oh, I was about to say Lee Harvey, girl. Lee
Oh no, girl.
Lee Harvey Oswald. That's
He don't need to pay you a visit, girl.
he ain't
Yeah,
paying
it was
nothing.
I think she accused them of blackballing her in Hollywood.
Right. Yeah, definitely. But you notice now everybody's saying how much Tyler is paying her, is what I'm saying. It's paying, excuse me, everybody's saying it, but yeah. I don't know, but it's a good thing, but it's kind of weird, it's odd because I never heard that. You know what I'm saying? Like from these other actresses and things of this nature. That's not the one thing that they get up there and talk about. Nobody really gets up there and talk about their pay.
When Taraji did this last movie, Color Purple, that's what I heard over the movie. It was that you're not paying her right. So we never even went to see that particular one. So I was like, Oprah not paying Taraji? That was the mindset,
No, I believe it though. I mean, I believe her, and I don't know what made them do that movie as far as The Color Purple. I never want to see that movie again. I just hope that something happens to all of the original, so they can't do it again. Yeah, like the script is thrown away. It's like something happens where you just can't find it anymore.
Wishful thinking.
I mean,
you watched it before though, right?
I watched the original one. It was horrible.
Mm-hmm.
It was horrible. The book is horrible. Toni Morrison is horrible. I mean, it's just like all of Black life has been in that manner. When do we get out of that?
Right.
Because that, all the way back from Roots and, Raising in the Sun. And I mean, he spent the money on that movie. You know what I'm saying? Like he was a loser. And the mother trusts him to go pay a bill because she wanted to make him feel like a man,
Mm-hmm.
Anyways.
It's a similar synopsis in all of them.
Exactly. And what year was the Raisin in the Sun? You know what I'm saying? So
that was years ago.
That was black and white.
Right.
Oh, that was definitely. I think it was before my mother was even born. To be honest with you, that movie is extremely old. Yeah. So it's like there's been this horrid portrayal of Black people in the movies ever since we've been able to be in the movies. So it's just like, when does something change? And they keep saying it's us, but it's not us that's buying that stuff. It's not us that's, we're not participating in that.
Mm-hmm.
At least at this point, I don't think so. Because Tyler Perry has moved far beyond his quote unquote humble beginnings of the church. I don't even see how the church even embraced him so lovingly, and that's just weird to me. Because he was on the chilling circuit at first, right, doing all those plays, and he did the plays, and then he outgrew the plays, and I don't understand it. Who is buying that stuff? Who is watching it?
I enjoyed the plays. I won't even exaggerate. I like the plays. I thought he did some good plays.
He had a couple of good because of the singing. He had right. So it was and that's.
And I'll tell you something else that he did that I like. He had like in House of Pain. I like that he didn't necessarily go get, which is he can afford the Hollywood people now, but it's like the everyday person.
Right.
He had them. He employed them, and it was good to see them in
Yeah.
the plays, the shows, like House of Pain. I like House of Pain. I used to. I don't
Yeah.
watch it now because I don't think it. Does it even air now?
I
don't
really
think
don't know.
it's airing, but I thought the plays that he done, and even when he got his start, and the whole way that he came up is something to be admired. But
Mhm.
not that we can't critique him again, but
Mhm.
I think he would be a good example for others that are trying to get into the industry, how they can use some of this, what he's done, use it as an example for themselves to further their career or however they want to. I think it's a good example. But we do have to be mindful of the fact that once we get to the place that we want to be, that we are still representing our people.
Right.
And we don't necessarily want to be negative. Now, I do think it has to be some drama and entertainment sometimes. But sometimes you have to keep it to a minimum. But my question that I'm saying, the thing that bothers me that I'm finding questionable is, would we critique others to the degree that we are critiquing Tyler Perry? What do you think?
Who else is there, right? So, I mean,
like I said, we should hold the Caucasians or others who make films. We should critique them and hold them accountable as well, or as much.
I mean, what? Like as far as what? Because they're all going to jail. I mean, yeah, we definitely are holding them where they need to be. Their movies are being removed, you know what I'm saying? And they do some low down, dirty, nasty, filthy, disgusting, okay, things. So, but I don't think, I think you're right though, Dina, because even though how crappy they are, it's not discussed as widely.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, because again, it's their system. They're not gonna sit there and talk about themselves.
But we can.
Yeah.
Because my thing is, and I like movies. I watch a lot of movies. We love movies here. But even when I'm trying to find, like I tell my husband, I want to see black folks. Every time it's a black male lead, who is usually his opposite? It's usually not
a white woman.
Right. And then
she's not black. She's not even if she is, she's kind of sort of black. You gotta twist. Yeah, right. You gotta twist your head to the left in the sun to see. I mean, come on now. No, we don't need to be questioned. As when you see us, that's what you see. Right. Why is it that, and even in Tyler Perry's movies, like the Why Did I Get Married, the one that's his wife, she's not black. On Why Did I Get Married, she's an Asian. She's Asian.
Oh, really?
She is not black.
Oh,
she's like a chili.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, from TLC.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So she's not black either?
Chili, no. You thought Chili was black?
I did.
Chili, I think Chili said she's Arab or something. I don't know. But anyways, on a lot of these movies, and then so the nasty one, even on Why Did I Get Married, is the black one, Angela. She's big, loud, and not big, but she's like, she has a big personality. She's big, right? And she's not even big, right? So it's like she's very aggressive and emotional, and she can be feminine at some, but she still, has a lot of, power to it. Like she wants to be ladylike, but at the same time is coming off as manly. It's coming off as manly. Masculine.
But do we not know people like that?
I'm sure we do. I personally do not in my
You
real life.
don't?
I don't. Not
Okay.
like her. No.
Now she go to she's to the umpteenth degree with hers.
She is.
What she say? She's just so loud.
She's naturally loud, and she seems like she would be a good friend. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Like when she's sitting there with her friends and things of this nature, she still is who she is, but it's just, you know what I'm saying? I don't know how to even differentiate that. It does seem like she would be a good friend. It does.
Marcus. But did you know in one of those movies he put her in her place and she became very humble?
Oh yeah. Yeah, he finally put his foot down because but she was using that against him too. Like, I'm taking care of you, I'm paying for everything. But she forgot that he was the star. He got hurt. So why would you sit there and keep beating him down like that? You know what I'm saying? It's a good thing he did give you the money to get that shop. So now both of you have something to lean on. It's not you. It's not, you know what I'm saying? So her attitude was terrible with that. I don't think she should have done that to her husband. So that's another horrible look. You know, it's another loss for women.
But you know, he was still a chronic cheater.
He was. That's
probably what contributed to her anxiety and loudness and being overbearing. Perhaps that contributed.
I'm sure it did, but it came off to everyone. Right. It came off on her clients. You know what I'm saying? It came off on her employees.
Yeah.
You know, it came off to the people in the airport. You know what I'm saying? It's just
right.
When you have something like that happen to you and you really don't realize what's going on and you just move on with it, like how people say, oh, just get over it. That is a prime example of not resolving that particular issue, and it does affect you. It affects your whole life.
Therapy.
Right.
That's where therapy come in.
You know, I don't know about therapy, but I'm just saying something else needed to happen before you just continue on, and then as soon as something happens, you're just gonna throw it up in the face. Everything is going to be a memory. You're going to start from the beginning when y'all first met. You know what I'm saying? It's just, you know, you knew he had another children by another woman. You knew that. So now that's still a problem. You have children with him as well. So why is it still a problem? You know what I'm saying? Like, what? We never got to the base of that because it looked like their children were pretty much the same age.
I think because the baby mother was in the picture still, and she was aggressive too, and he was still sleeping with both of those women.
Right.
That's the problem.
I believe that, but I think they was trying to make it seem like it wasn't, but it was. And I think so that would mean that he was the issue the entire time.
Right. Do you remember when she came to their house and she approached him like, he was at my house? I'm like, oh no.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and I'm thinking like, well, why wouldn't he be at your house? That's where the children are. So what would be the problem with him being at your house if that's where the children are? Are you trying to say something else is going on? So, I mean, that's a problem. That is a big problem in our community as well. Yes, we do not know how to resolve old issues. Like when the issue, you know, most people just move on. Like they just go to the next person, and
instead of resolving it.
Right. And of course it's okay to do that. But you have to keep going back and back. And the reason why you never really ended it is because you want to continue to go back. You never ended it. You just got up and left.
You want your cake and
you want to eat it too. Right. Mm-hmm. So, and I think that's another issue that can go back to this Divorce in Black, because he's the one that wanted to end it, right? So he made steps to end it, But where does the part come in where he's just sitting in there eating the cereal? So I mean, it's just
Because
like,
he thought that he was hurting her by saying it.
oh,
When she was seemed to be moving on and living her life, she didn't. She fell apart.
oh my goodness.
But he didn't know it. So when he saw that it didn't hurt her the way he wanted it to,
She was
he had to come
relieved.
back. So he
Yeah.
started feeling like she played me. And
Yeah.
he was blaming his friend. You knew all the time, all along, in his mind.
She was messing with him. No, she was not. That's why
we
he
need
was
a
trying
friend.
to make it seem like, well, she was messing with him all the time. That's why she not begging me to come back.
Right. That's why I said we need a series or something from Divorce and Black where we could understand what made him like that, because it has to be something within his life that made him that way. It's like he got off by tormenting her almost, seeing her unhappy.
Right, and seeing her crying and stuff like that. I mean, she went through her phases. She was crying, and then she turned her crying energy into real energy, and she started running. She started doing things with her family, going out with them again. You know what I'm saying? So,
Getting
I
herself
mean,
back, coming back.
yeah, she was going to church and, eating those nasty little cupcakes from the little girl. Girl, where did you make these cupcakes off the Easy Bake Oven?
Money.
This is a donation. It's a love offering. Here you go. Keep the cakes.
And
Okay.
Look, better yet, just give them all to me. I'm gonna save some people.
Child.
They taste that horrible stuff.
Yeah,
It was
but
sweet on that level, but I didn't feel a connection with Benji, to be honest. I don't know, for some reason, and she didn't seem to be that into him. I think he was a
she
rebound.
wasn't. She was not into him. I don't think she. But it was like so much happened that he just was there, and that's how a lot of relationships start too, right? Something, y'all just friends or something major happens, and then then there's a funeral, or there's a long illness or something like that, and this person is there for you and you feel obligated to him. But I mean, he was laying it down for the 99 and the 2 G's, okay? She was picking up what he was putting down, okay?
That scene, they need to redo that scene, because I swear he broke her arm or injured her when he pushed up against that door, and she was so much shorter than him. I'm like,
right. So he had to pick her up, and she was so small, and I was like, oh my goodness! But she really showed us, right, when she dragged homeboy down the steps.
That was good. That was giving Diary of a Mad Black Woman. I like that.
Right. So it's like, dang, this ain't the same we've seen before, but this is definitely an Angela movie, It's like,
I didn't criticize the movie for the only thing I felt like it slowed down a little, but it was an interesting movie. I didn't understand.
It was.
I liked the movie. I thought it was entertaining. I just want to know other people's view. Are we singling him out, or are we giving him a fair analysis of what we think? Are we just being petty? I just want to see others' view on it. But I can see it from both points of view. I just think underneath, I think when we're talking about Tyler Perry, I really think he has a deeply underneath him, I think he has a good spirit, as far as
I don't.
caring for. You don't think so?
No.
You don't?
No.
Why not?
I just
You feel the opposite.
I do. I just think he is agenda bound, and I really think that someone is putting him up to do these things.
I
think there's somebody behind him doing it.
he wouldn't be the first.
I mean, he wouldn't, and again, we have Geraldine, right? That was years and years. So this has been something that has been lurking. Every generation, they reinvent this man in a dress. So there's one on the rise right now because, with this 0-0 on the rotten, apples or rotten cores or whatever, you get a 0-0 on that. I mean, he's heading in a different direction. That's all I can say.
Okay.
He might be getting phased out.
You think so?
Tyler's not the first person to wear a dress. You gotta think about that. That wore a dress in MASH. Remember that?
Right. And Mrs. Doubtfire.
Mm-hmm.
And what we got?
Well, I said Geraldine. What year was that? I mean,
that was a while. Yeah, that was. I used to watch Steve Harvey and Cedric the Entertainer, and they would put on dresses.
Right. Yeah.
I never seen Steve Harvey in a dress.
You didn't?
No.
What is that sitcom he had? They would play their aunties.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I never.
It was a sitcom where
Cedric the Entertainer?
Yeah, and Cedric had a show called Cedric the Entertainer.
Yeah, when he played the character.
Yeah, and I liked the character. Talking about ain't no more. Just mashed potato and corn. You don't remember that one?
No.
Just mashed potatoes and corn. He had his own show.
I know he had his. Wait a minute. He had a show with and the girl was calling him Seti.
Yeah, that was the Steve Harvey show. Seti.
Oh, but I thought they had us. No, he's. You know what? I'm okay. He's on a show now with Pam.
Oh, really?
Yeah. What is it called? The Neighborhood or something like that.
Oh, yeah, the neighbor. Yeah, that's a. Yeah, well, they got the white neighbors.
They had a white neighbors. Yeah, and they got two black sons. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
But I never saw him in a dress. I don't know.
No, that's not the show. That's not the show where he wore that. He had his own show. It's
a different show, right?
Cedric Entertainment Presents. It was like Mad TV Saturday Night Live.
No, I never saw that.
What's the show in Living Color? It's like that.
Oh, okay. No. I never saw that.
It was funny, but he wore his dress. He was the cafeteria lady, and she was funny.
I can see him being a cafeteria lady too. I really can. I really can.
Just mashed potatoes and corn.
Wow. Yeah, but I'm gonna get off of here, Dana. I do appreciate it.
Thank you for joining me. We appreciate you.
Thank you for having me with the Dana Views and Reviews. What is it? Views and Reviews, Dana. I was not subscribed to this channel, so now I am. And for some odd reason, it came up. I was looking for your other channel. I'm subscribed to that one, but this one, I'm not subscribed to, and I don't know why. I don't know.
I don't either. We need to fix that.
Yeah, well, I just subscribed, so. But I seen it said live, and I was like, wait a minute, live? I was like, what channel is this?
Why it's not showing up on the other one? I can't even see it for some reason.
Oh, okay. Well, there's been a lot of changes to YouTube as well. So it's hard to say. Like, they come up with new policies and just expect you to know it. And it's just really weird and odd what YouTube is doing right now. But yep, Divorce in Black. And the movie that I picked, I did not pick Ghostbusters. I picked Expendables and Civil War, and it was one more. Denzel Washington, The Equalizer, because he always hunting these people down, saving Becky.
Yeah.
I mean, it ain't one movie he ain't say Becky, okay?
I know. Save some black men. Okay?
Maybe we gotta talk about that, okay?
Yeah, we do. That's right.
Maybe we gotta talk about Denzel's old ass.
You know, he's coming out in a new movie. What's that?
Gladiator.
Gladiators. Yeah.
And he looking like a Black Caesar too, ain't he?
Yes, he is. Yes, indeed. I guess
I think
we'll be reviewing that.
maybe if it's a real thing, if it's a real movie, because you know how some of them be like, oh, this is a real, like they tried to say Acrimony 2 was a real movie. I was like, well, where is it? And it wasn't real. They was just, you know, putting it up like a meme or like a poster, a movie poster.
Right.
I would love an Acrimony 2. I like
that one too. Yeah, that would.
I would love for her to have survived. Yeah.
Now that would be a good movie. Yeah.
I want her to survive that.
Yeah. That was an interesting movie.
Oh my gosh.
Bessie is up here starving. And
Go ahead.
Go out. And I just want to thank you for joining us and everybody else. I'm sorry I couldn't see your views.
All right.
Come on. This has been Views and Reviews, reminding you to subscribe, to like, to share, and leave your comments on what you thought of this movie. I am inviting you to join me right here weekly for another review or a movie recommendation. And most of all, I want you to remember, it's my view. Now, what you watching?